Welcome to the Dan Casper Show podcast, your chance to catch the full show anytime, anywhere. If you missed it live on the radio, no worries. We've got you covered with all the sports talk, opinions, interviews, and conversations from the show. From the Packers to the Brewers to the biggest stories in sports and around Wisconsin, it's all right here. This is the Dan Casper Show podcast. What's up, everybody? Good morning and happy Monday. DK Show coming to you from the TDS Sports Talk Studios this morning. Whether you are listening on the radio dials, 105.1 FM, 790 AM, online, sportstalk1051.com, WAYYradio.com. You've got your smart devices, your smart speakers like your Alexa devices. The app, download it, take it on the go. Video stream also up and rolling here this morning on YouTube, Man Cave TVs. Got the Shoe Doctors bullpen line up and rolling here too. We got the Section 105 chats up and going. Shoe Doctors bullpen line, again, that number 715-830-1912. Man, what do we have on our game plan for us this morning on a pretty epic weekend for the Brew Crew? Lots to digest from this Brewers game, or from this Brewers series against the Phillies. First off, the most important thing, Brewers win the series, take the series from the Phillies, winning the first two. They may win the first one, taking 2 out of 3, won the first one, lost the second one, although they made it close at the end. And then yesterday, Kyle Harrison getting the best of Christopher Sanchez. And actually, it was Blake Perkins maybe getting the best of Christopher Sanchez. And the Brewers pick up a big series win. But we got to go back to Friday and talk about the Miz kid. That performance on Friday night, dare I say, one of the most dominating performances we have ever seen from a pitcher. I'm not saying it's the most. I know it's not I'm not saying, but I'm just saying Monday. But it was one of the most dominating pitcher performances I have ever seen, and I think a lot of people have ever seen. One hit away from from a perfect game, not nearly, but one hit away from a perfect game. 15 Ks, hit 104.5 on the radar gun, the fastest pitch from a starting pitcher that we have seen since tracking began, and he still threw 104 in the ninth inning, complete game shutout from Jacob Misiorowski. I know, like all season so far, we've been saying we're running out of things to say about him. I mean, it's just kind of like status quo, but he just did something again. Something we haven't seen, something that just keeps adding to his already impressive resume, and it was a year to the day that he made his debut. You can't write this stuff. You can't. Hollywood can't come up with this stuff. Dude is, in my mind, and we'll get to this here in a little bit, but right now, most dominating pitcher, dare I say the most dominating player in Major League Baseball, in the category of Shohei, Paul Skeens, Aaron Judge, whoever else you want to put up there. This guy's electric. Just insanely good right now, and he just looks like he's getting better and better. Enjoy. I know there are Brewers fans, there are people out there that are worried about his arm and shoulder and elbow, whether it's going to be blown out and all that. I get it. I understand it. But you know what? Just enjoy it right now. If that is something that you are worried about, let's just enjoy it right now. Just enjoy what we are witnessing, and we are witnessing greatness. We are absolutely witnessing greatness. Boy, that was awesome to watch on Friday night. Man, anybody who was at that game, you were treated, dudes and dudettes. Just awesome. Absolutely awesome. So we're going to talk about Friday night's game. We're going to talk about Jacob Misiorowski. We're going to talk about this series. And then yesterday, Nothing official yet from the Brewers, but confirmed by multiple sources, the Cooper Pratt era will begin. Cooper Pratt leaving the game early, his Nashville Sounds game with speculation. He was given some hugs in the dugout and it's been confirmed by multiple sources that he will be called up and should be the new starting shortstop for the Milwaukee Brewers when they begin their series against the Guardians starting tomorrow. Off day today for the Crew, but we're going to have the Cooper Pratt era begin. Is that whose job's in trouble? Kind of seems like it's Rengifo. So there is some talk, too, about, I was reading a little bit from, I believe it was Adam McCulvey earlier on this morning. Joey Ortiz going back to third. Is it going to be a platoon between Hamilton and Ortiz? But it's going to begin the Cooper Pratt era. And honestly, I feel like, all right, it's not going to be a temporary thing either. I think, I shouldn't say he's never going to be sent back down because there is a shot. But they're going to give him a little bit. It's not going to be just a couple games here and there, kind of like what Jefferson Kiro was earlier on this year. But here we go. Here we go. So lots of Brewer stuff to hit up here this morning between Misiorowski, Cooper Pratt, and recapping this series win this past weekend for the Brew Crew. Best and worst from the weekend. Well, you got some pickings from there if you want. VFW Post 305, best and worst from the weekend. Hit me up with your selections. We'll get to those throughout the morning. We'll do a little Monday morning chat GPT, our Monday morning quarterback, where we throw in a scenario and see if the robots and the computers pick the same thing as maybe that a play, a decision. We'd pick if the computers would pick the same thing. We'll do that. What else do we got on the dockets here this morning? We'll continue our top 250 countdown, so we'll get to that. And then we've got Built in the Man Cave, a new daily segment that we're going to get to probably later on this morning. We'll chat with, sounds like Dale Varsho from the Eau Claire Express for our Express chat coming up just past 9 o'clock. It was a good weekend for the Express, too, as they took two. They swept Thunder Bay. They swept Thunder Bay this past weekend. So we'll chat with manager Dale Varsho coming up in the 9 o'clock hour. So, I also forgot, too, Andrew Fisher was promoted up to Double-A. So he's been raking with the Timber Rattlers. He is being promoted up to Double-A. So no big surprise. I wonder if we're going to get something from Jesus Mate soon, maybe promoted up to Triple-A too. So, but all right. Oh, and we got some champions crowned too. We've got the Knicks are your NBA champions, and the Carolina Hurricanes, they're your Stanley Cup champs, all from this past weekend. We've got champions crowned up. So now maybe that watch season of Giannis gets a little bit more, brighter, hotter, that. So we'll see. But all right, let's get things going here this morning. We'll take our break and get going here with the leadoff. We got to talk Brewers. Lots of things to talk about with the Brewers here. Jacob Misiorowski, let's just throw it out there. Is he the most dominating player in Major League Baseball right now at this current point in time? Right now, if you had to pick somebody, a player, who is the most dominating player in Major League Baseball right now, okay? Right now. Is it the Miz kid? Is it Jacob Misiorowski? Is Jacob Misiorowski the best pitcher in Major League Baseball at this current point in time? Let me know. Start to hit me up. 715-830-1912 on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line. All right, we'll take our break and get going here with the leadoff. We'll be right back after these quick words. Summer is here, and that means it is time to hit the road in something that you love. At Toyson Ford, you will find a great selection of new and pre-owned vehicles ready for every adventure. Looking for power, comfort, reliability? Hey, they've got it all, backed by a team that's committed to making your car buying experience easy and stress-free. So whether it's a weekend getaway or your daily drive, make sure you are riding in style this summer. Toyson Ford in Chippewa Falls, where your next journey begins. All right. Let's get things going here this morning. Good weekend for the Brewers, taking 2 out of 3 against the Philadelphia Phillies, but we got to go back to Friday night's game. And not only the win, but Jacob Misiorowski, man. So, Sarah Langs. Okay, Sarah Langs is a fantastic, if you want to know some fun nuggets, interesting historical aspects about Major League Baseball and that, she wrote on MLB.com from his starts 13 facts and stats from his memorable, his historic start from Friday night. Here they are. Let's just put this in perspective. Okay. We'll start off with Misiorowski threw a 15 strikeout shutout on just 95 pitches. That is the most strikeouts in a Maddox. So if you don't know the term, a Maddox is a shutout. It's named after Greg Maddox. A Maddox is a shutout on fewer than 100 pitches. But that is the most strikeouts in a Maddox since pitch counts have been tracked, 1988. He broke the previous record by 2. Scooble had a 13 strikeout Maddox on May 25th, 2025. Efficiency, baby. We're going to talk a little bit about that, too. Misiorowski allowed just 1 base runner on a 4th inning single, which was erased on a double play. He faced the minimum, 27 batters. 27 batters. His 15 strikeouts are tied for the most by a pitcher in a game where he faced the minimum since at least 1900. Eric Bedard on July 7th, 2007 was the last one. Bedard allowed 2 hits. The Miz allowed 1. All right, we're off to a good start. Misiorowski, here's another one. Misiorowski became the 3rd pitcher with at least 15 strikeouts and no more than 1 base runner in a shutout since at least 1900. He joined Max Scherzer in his October 3rd, 2015 no-hitter and Clayton Kershaw in his June 18th of 2014 no-hitter. Not bad company. She continues to say, this may have been his best yet, but dominating is nothing new for Misiorowski. He now has a .17 ERA in his last 8 starts. That is the lowest ERA in an 8-start span since earned runs became official in 1913, excluding openers, surpassing Chris Sale's .20 mark for the Red Sox in 2018. Truly, factually, one of the greatest stretches ever. More evidence towards the greatest stretch ever. He's allowed just 1 extra base hit in those last 8 starts. He's also had 80 strikeouts. Misiorowski is the only pitcher since at least 1900 with 60 or more strikeouts and 1 or no extra base hits allowed in an 8-game span. How about some fun facts and stats about his velocity? He recorded a strikeout at 104.5 miles per hour in the first inning, the fastest pitch by a starter since pitch tracking began in 2008. He now has each of the 23 fastest pitches by a starter on record. Misiorowski had 3 strikeouts at 103 miles per hour or faster in the first inning. The only other pitcher with 3 103-plus miles per hour Ks in an inning under the tracking era is Chapman on August 10th, 2016. The hardest throwing starter we have ever seen joining the hardest throwing reliever. Those 3 strikeouts in the first were the fastest of his career as a starter, and thus by all starters under tracking: 104.5, 104.1, and 103.5. Entering this season, the fastest strikeout by a starter was 102.6 by Skubal to end the game on May 25th, 2025. Now Misiorowski has get this, now Misiorowski has each of the top 14 on the list. Back to the 104.5 for a moment. If we remove the starting pitcher qualifier, he's tied for the 4th fastest strikeout pitch under tracking with Mason Miller in the NL Wildcard Series Game 2 last year. The only faster strikeouts were Ben Joyce twice, 105.5, 104.7, and Chapman, 104.7. Of his 15 strikeouts, 12 were at least 100 miles per hour, 3 more than any other pitcher in a game under tracking. 10 of those were at least 101 miles per hour, 8 at least 102, 6 at least 103, and 2 at least 104. Each of those set records for most strikeouts at those velocity thresholds in a game. He threw 58 pitches at least 100 miles per hour, besting his May 25th, 2026 start for the most in a game under tracking. He has each of the 3 highest totals on the list, and they're 3 of his last 4 starts. 44 of those pitches were at least 101 miles per hour, the second most by any pitcher in a game, behind his 45 last time out. Finally, just a couple more. He started the 9th inning with a changeup, 92.2 miles per hour, and then went heaters the rest of the way. Entering Friday, the fastest 9th inning pitch by a starter was that Skubal pitch of 102.6. Misiorowski's final 5 pitches were all faster than that, topping out at 103.7 miles per hour. There are only 2 other starters to hit 103 miles per hour since tracking began. Jordan Hicks twice in the first inning of a game as an opener, and Justin Verlander in the 5th inning of 2011's ALCS Game 5. The Miz reached 103 after the 5th inning once entering the night. A 7th inning pitch on May 13th. On Friday, he reached 103 miles per hour 3 times in the 9th. Unbelievable. He is not human. We are watching an alien. I swear, this is an alien. This isn't a human being. No human being should be able to do some of the things that he is doing right now. But thank gosh, he is a Milwaukee Brewer. This kid, whatever we want to call him, is remarkable. I know the Brewers, I think it was Sophia Minner, was kind of doing a thing like used one word to describe Jacob Misiorowski and kind of going around to his teammates describe his performance and such. And I think stellar was one of the most popular ones. And I'd almost say inhuman if I had to answer that question. Inhuman, not real. It's the efficiency. I know we've talked a lot about his control, and that plays hand in hand, the efficiency and the control. But that just took another level on Friday night. For crying out loud, a 9-inning complete game shutout, 1 hit, facing the minimum, and you did it under 100 pitches. Are you kidding me? For Jacob Misiorowski last year, less than a year ago, we were talking about, oh man, control issues, kind of wild. And that's kind of the thought was when we got to the playoffs, and a little wild. It's been like a 180, a complete reverse of this thing. it's such a quick turnaround. That's why it makes it so kind of unbelievable in a lot of aspects in this thing. You know, not to get like super, super, super excited. Well, no, screw that. Why not? Why not get super excited about what we are witnessing right now? We are witnessing greatness. We are witnessing something magical and something incredibly rare. And he happens, for not everybody listening, but for the majority, I would think, he happens to play for your favorite baseball team. I mean, I had Cubs fans, a buddy of mine who was a Cubs fan, texting me Friday night saying, tip of the cap, man. Tip of the cap to this guy, to this. I'm not even going to call him a human right now, to this thing, to this pitcher. Because it's unreal. And I know probably one of the first things that a lot of fans are saying, sign him, sign him, sign him, sign him. Well, it does take two to tango, right? And I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% because I don't know the insides of everything, but I would imagine if the Brewers did approach that situation, Mrs. Camp maybe saying that price tag is going to be a lot higher than what you've been signing up and locking up some of your younger players here. Sure. You know, if you want to make the case that, well, in case Ms. Arm does go, he would have some security, you're right. You're right, but that's a risk that maybe they're willing to take, given his stock is scorching hot right now. White hot. And the thing is like he's going to have pre-arbitration next year and the year after that. Brewers control Jacob Misiorowski here for a while, so let's not worry about contracts, okay? Let's not worry about that. Let's just enjoy this experience. He is must-watch baseball. There's those athletes, whether it's football, basketball, hockey, baseball. When that athlete is on, like TV or wherever, you kind of stop what you're doing and you watch. He is in that category. You stop what you're doing. You plan your night around it, your day around it. Because I want to see what's next. I want to see what's happening. It's must watch. Not every athlete is in that category. Not every team is in that category. But if he wasn't before Friday night, which I think he already was, it clearly established himself as must watch. My opinion right now, Major League Baseball's got some dominating players. But I got to go Misiorowski. The thing is it feels like he's getting better every single start. And I think it actually works well for him that pitchers have 5-6 days off between starts because, yes, he is a very emotional pitcher. He wears his emotions on the sleeve. But I think that almost helps like the calm down, cooling period of 5-6 days. Just kind of regroups, resets. Here we go for the next start, baby. Unbelievable. We got to take a quick break. Plenty more Brewers talk coming up, though, after these quick words. Summer cookout season is here, and nobody does summer grilling better than Mike's Star Market in Eau Claire. From premium steaks and fresh burgers to brats and chicken, you'll find quality and value throughout the store. Before your next cookout, stop by Mike's Star Market and stock up on the freshest ingredients around. Mike's Star Market in Eau Claire, helping make every summer gathering a delicious one and memorable one. So visit them today at 2238 Heimstead Road and make sure to follow their Facebook page. So obviously the story from the weekend for the Brewers is Jacob Misiorowski and the crew taking 2 out of 3 against the Phillies to bounce back after their series loss to the Athletics. If you are checking the standings to begin this week in the NL Central, the Brewers are in first place by 5 games over the St. Louis Cardinals. The Cubbies 7.5 games back. Pirates 8.5 back. Cincinnati 10.5 games back. But let's also give some acknowledgement to Kyle Harrison, too, because a nice bounce back performance from Kyle Harrison yesterday. He went 6 innings, giving up 3 hits, no walks, no earned runs, 3 strikeouts in a start on the other side where you had Christopher Sanchez. But the Brewers giving Kyle Harrison some early run support in the game, and thanks to Blake Perkins, who is apparently the Christopher Sanchez kryptonite out there, just career-wise has good numbers, and, well, he picked up a couple hits, including 3-run shots to help out the cause. But Kyle Harrison now improves to 8-1 on the season with a 2.47 ERA. And I feel like we've heard this a few times, but also apparently didn't have his, quote, best stuff, if you want to believe that. But nonetheless, just a very solid performance, very good performance from Kyle Harrison in that bounce-back game. So, also, we got to give some shout. It was a great weekend for Jackson Chourio. Jackson Chourio just continues to play some awesome baseball, maybe making a late push for a potential all-star spot. I don't know. But the dude hit 3 home runs this past weekend. 3 home runs in his last 2 games. When the Brewers were trying to make that comeback on Saturday, he was leading the charge with his 2 home runs in that game. It's just Chad Patrick. Bad performance from him. Just control and commands. It was just kind of an issue for Chad Patrick on Saturday. But Jackson Chourio, in his last 35 at-bats, he has hit 5 home runs, 457 batting average, 459 on base, and he is slugging .943. On the season, Jackson Chourio in 152 at-bats. Remember, he missed a big chunk of the season, beginning part of the season. He's already at 9 home runs. He's hitting .322. His on-base percentage is .370. And his OPS is .942. So Jackson Chourio is hot right now. In fuego. Playing some really awesome baseball. Kind of getting a little overshadowed by Jacob Misiorowski. But hey, dude is, man, it's good to see Jackson Chourio playing as well as he's been playing here too. And, I mean, you got a few hot batters in this thing. Contreras, 393 in his last 28 at-bats too. So overall this season, 295 with a 763 OPS for Contreras, which is actually a little bit below his career averages for OPS. But there's going to be a new guy going to be joining the group now. It finally is happening. Now, the Brewers haven't made anything officially official yet, but multiple sources out there saying Cooper Pratt has been called up and will make his Major League debut tomorrow, being inserted into the Brewers lineup. So the Cooper Pratt era is about to begin. This is it was first reported by Bob Nightingale, but then Adam McCulvey from Brewers.com confirming it. And when you look at Cooper Pratt so far this year, offensively, the overall numbers probably aren't eye-popping. He is slashing a 244, 353, 392 at AAA this season. Does have 6 home runs and 17 stolen bases. 17 stolen bases, man. Defense is Major League superb. Now, according to Adam McCulvey, he says, quote, Brewers officials have been plotting the timing of a Pratt promotion for some time. And if Rengifo is indeed the move, either via the injured list or DFA'd, the club could play Pratt at shortstop. That's his natural position, and one the team has in mind for the long term, and would move Joey Ortiz to third. Ortiz has been great defensively, but is in the midst of a multi-year offensive outage with a .561 OPS despite better production recently. So maybe a little bit of a platoon at third between Ortiz and Hamilton. The thing is I don't want Pratt playing third. If you're going to call up Cooper Pratt, play him at his natural position, play him at shortstop. It's not like, Ortiz has proven that he can play third. Might have been a little while since he was a regular third baseman, but he can play third. Hamilton can play third, can play short, can play second. He's your Blake Perkins, but maybe gets more opportunities than a Blake Perkins. He's your infielder that can play multiple spots. If you're bringing up Pratt, make him your shortstop, and let's ride, to quote Russell Wilson. Let's go. Don't overthink this. Don't think about putting him over to third. Put him at short. If that's his natural position and that's what he's most comfortable at, with him making his Major League debut, he's going to be nervous already. The butterflies are going to be rolling. His stomach is going to be churning. He may be throwing up for all we know. Make it a little bit easier on himself by playing his most natural position, which is shortstop. And if he is your future shortstop for the long term, for the foreseeable future, well then, just run with it. Go with it. So, we're not going to see that tonight, obviously, because the Brewers have the off day today here. But we'll see it tomorrow. The interesting part in this whole thing, timing-wise, is that on Tuesday, teams can start to trade. They can start to trade players that were in the first year of their free agent contracts. Now, I don't know if anybody would be willing to trade for Rengifo, but it gives the Brewers an opportunity to kind of shop him. Maybe they can sell him for cash. Maybe they can sell him for a future prospect. Because it's not like Rengifo is lighting the world on fire offensively. I mean, he's 205 with a 534 OPS and no dingers this year. But maybe you can send him to a team that wants a veteran, backup for chunk change. But Tuesday is the first day that teams are allowed to trade players who are in the first year of their free agent contracts, which makes Luis Rengifo an option for that. So, yeah, overall, a crazy busy weekend when it comes to the Brewers. But a good weekend, right? A fantastic weekend. You take 2 out of 3 against the Phillies. You bounce back after losing to the Athletics. Jacob Misiorowski is now the most dominating player in Major League Baseball, in my opinion. And then the Cooper Pratt era is about to begin. Jackson Cheerio is on fire right now. A lot of things are good in Brewtown. Enjoy it. Embrace it. Let's take a quick break. We'll start to wrap up the first hour, but I want to hear from you. Is yay or nay, thumbs up, thumbs down? Jacob Misiorowski, not only, I'm not asking just pitcher-wise, but player-wise, is he the most dominating player in all of Major League Baseball right now at this current point in time? Is it still Ohtani or somebody else? We'll take a quick break, and we'll start to wrap up the first hour coming up after these few words. Summer is the season for golf. softball, pickleball, running, staying active. But hey, aches and pains, they can quickly slow you down. And that's where Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine comes in. Their experienced team helps weekend warriors and athletes of all ages get back to doing what they love with expert care and treatment options designed to keep you moving. Play more, hurt less. Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Get started today by checking out their website at cvosm.com. We'll talk plenty more Brewers here this morning throughout the program, but send me your thumbs up, thumbs down. Is Jacob Misiorowski right now? I know a lot of people say, is he the best Brewers pitcher of all time? I don't know if I'm... Gosh, I know that's kind of a recency thing, but I don't know if I'm ready to say best Brewers pitcher of all time just because, I mean, we are just 1 year into his career, but if you want to say, is he the most dominating Brewers pitcher of all time at this point? Yeah, that one I could definitely probably buy on. I don't know if I'm ready to say best of all time just because of longevity purposes. That's the big reason. But is Jacob right now the most dominating player in all of Major League Baseball at this point in time? I would probably have to say yes. I would have to say yes. All right. Plenty more baseball, as we said, coming your way here this morning. Coming up next hour, we'll continue our top 250 countdown as we inch a little bit closer and closer to America's birthday. So we'll run through. We actually got to play a little catch up because I got sidetracked on Friday's program and did not get to that. So we're going to double up here today, or maybe we'll do 15 today and 15 tomorrow. Maybe that's the best way to do it. So we'll do a little extra today. So and then it's the VFW Post 305 best and worst from the weekend. What was the best? What was the worst from the weekend, in your opinion? Make your picks. A lot of Brewers options for sure on there. So we'll hit that up. Speaking of baseball, we'll catch up with our friends from the Eau Claire Express. Manager Dale Varsho sounds like he will be joining us coming up at 9 o'clock this morning. So we'll chat a little bit with Dale. The Express picking up a sweep against Thunder Bay this weekend, and we'll be going up against the La Crosse Loggers starting tonight for a 2-game series, and then Wausau, and then Duluth on the road, a home and away, and then they're back home. So I got good stretch of games here at Carson Park. If you haven't been to an Express game yet, you can got plenty of opportunities this week, and maybe even for Father's Day this weekend too, if you want to head on out to the ballpark. We got a few messages. Looks like a lot of you right now saying yes to the fact that Jacob Misiorowski is the most dominating pitcher in Major League Baseball. We've got C-Bomb that said, here's your litmus test. Game 7 of the World Series, you can put one player on your roster. Who is it? The Miz is your answer. Yes, he is the most dominating player in baseball. We all need to enjoy what we are watching, and the Brewers need to take advantage of it. That's the other part in this, too, that I think is probably going to be asked a little bit more out there is, will the Brewers, should you be more aggressive by that trade deadline to maybe acquire players in areas of positions that are a weakness? Cooper Pratt, if he comes in, I'm not expecting Cooper Pratt to all of a sudden be a big-time home run threat for the Brewers. What do you want? Maybe this is a question we can hit up in the next 3 hours. I want to throw out there, too. What are you expecting? What's a minimum expectation that you want to see from Cooper Pratt? And, yes, you can use some of the numbers from Rengifo or Hamilton and Ortiz or a combination of both? Is it, I just want to see a guy that's going to hit 250, get on base, and steal a bunch of bases because he's got 17 stolen bases already this year? Yeah, I'm not having expectations that all of a sudden we're going to get a lot of power from him. But what's your baseline minimum expectation when it comes to Cooper Pratt? Because I feel like there's going to be some fans, not all fans, but there's going to be a decent amount of fans that are going to have, I think, way too high of an expectation for Cooper Pratt. I think they're going to have these insanely high expectations where it's like that's really not the strong suit of that player, or maybe not the best thing for that player, if that makes sense. But what are your expectations? Hit me up. All right. I want to know. We'll talk more Brewers, lots of Brewers here again throughout this morning. So, shot clock's going to cut me off here. So, coming up next hour, let's do a little, I'll make my picks for VFW Post 305, best and worst from the weekend. So I'll make mine, and then we'll get into the 250. I think we'll do 15. There's just like, oh, man, we got to do 20. Let's split it up here. We'll do 15. Continue to knock out this list of 250 moments in American sports history from the last 250 years. So we'll hit that up coming up in the 7 o'clock hour, which is just a mere few seconds away. But continue to hit me up with your answers. Is The Miz the most dominating pitcher of all time, or not all time, most dominating pitcher right now, or dominating player right now in Major League Baseball? Make the case, yay or nay, and make the case. We got some news updates, but we'll be back.